Once upon a time, not too long ago, in a place not very far away, lived a young boy who went through quite an interesting tale. His name was Tyler. Tyler wasn't like the other boys his age. His strange personality, along with the tragedy of losing his father at a young age, left him a broken soul. You'd never know by looking at him, but he was alone in the truest sense of the word. He had plenty of friends, the teachers all liked him, but he somehow knew. He just didn't belong. There was always something missing. Despite this, Tyler was always sure to treat everyone fairly. He knew firsthand that just because someone looks okay doesn't mean they're not going through hell. Things changed for Tyler one day when he found himself in a relationship with a beautiful young lady. Emily was all he could ever want. They were a perfect match. You see, she had suffered quite a bit herself. At one point in her life, she was the most popular girl in school. Everyone wanted to be her friend, and even more people wanted to be her. That was, until her phone was stolen, and her naked picture had been viewed by everyone with a cell phone within a 200-mile radius. Emily was completely and utterly humiliated. She lost all her friends, and her family was forced to move to the other side of the country. This all worked out though, because this is how she came to know and eventually fall in love with Tyler. By the time their senior year of high school had come, they were closer than ever, and planned on traveling the country after graduation. It was a bright and sunny day when it had finally come. Nothing but smiles and positive emotions. After the ceremony, Tyler could not have been more excited as he drove his SUV to pick up the love of his life. They had enough clothes and money to last them the whole summer. Tyler had plans of attending college in Germany, and Emily wanted to go to a local community college for a short while. They knew the long-distance relationship was going to be difficult to manage, but they were determined to stick it through. Tyler had even given Emily a promise ring. Tyler played his favorite classical music, Symphony 5 by Beethoven, from his iPod in the car. He arrived at Emily's house and knocked on the door. Emily's father answered. He gave Tyler an unexcited look. "Come on in." Tyler stepped inside. "I want you to be careful out there. Make sure my daughter is safe." "I will. She'll be down in a minute," Emily's father said before walking into the other room. Emily ran down the stairs, almost tripping on the way.
Hey!
"How are you?"
I'm so excited. Are you ready?
"Yeah, you want to go now?"
Yeah, sure.
As they loaded the last of their things into the car, Emily's parents watched and smiled. Emily hugged her parents one last time before getting into the passenger seat of the vehicle. Her parents waved goodbye until they were out of view.
This is so exciting. Where are we gonna go first?
Let's just drive until we get somewhere, maybe.
Oh my gosh, we're so bad. We should have planned a route or something.
We'll be okay, as long as I have my phone with GPS and a car charger.
So anyway, what was that weird website you sent me last night?
Was it the Atlanteanconspiracy.com?
Yeah, I think it was that one. I didn't get a chance to look at it much.
Yeah, it's like a flat earth conspiracy website.
The Flat Earth? How did you even find that website?
I was browsing 4chan.
Tyler, you're crazy.
Who's the crazy one? The guy who looks into things for himself, or the person that thinks they live on some blue spinning ball earth?
You're the crazy one.
A few hours had passed as they made their way across the country. Emily turned on a podcast and stared out the window, watching the world pass them by. There was a certain serenity in the Jeep as the podcaster went on about this and that. Tyler hadn't heard this guy before, but his comical insights made driving a lot more fun. When it got closer to sunset, they started looking for a place to crash for the night. "Hey Em, can you look up a nearby motel?"
Yeah, there should be one just a few minutes away.
"Sweet." Not 15 minutes had passed when they pulled up and got out.
We need to pull over to stretch more. My legs are dead.
Yeah, lesson learned. You stay here and stretch. I'll get us checked in for the night.
Okay.
Tyler walked into what must have been one of the creepiest places he'd ever seen. He wondered to himself if the motel was abandoned or not, but the flashing open sign outside made him sure it was a functional business. He stood there for about 40 seconds. No one was behind the front desk, and the place was quiet as a mouse. Tyler's eyes were stuck on the name plaque that read, "Hello, my name is Joe." Joe was nowhere to be found. Hello? Is anyone here? Another minute or so went by, and Tyler wondered to himself how far the next closest motel was, but he didn't want to drive with Emily around in the dark. Time seemed to stretch on forever in this dry, quiet motel lobby. Tyler turned around, and just as his hand felt the coldness of the doorknob, he heard an older man.
"Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I was helping little Sarah here. You'll have to excuse me."
Out came a man in his 50s with a toddler on his shoulders. He was the strangest looking man Tyler had ever seen. It wasn't that he didn't look normal. He looked too normal. His teeth were whiter than any human's teeth should ever be. They sparkled in a way that would put Chip Skylark to shame. The bald part of his head was perfectly contrasted by the way the hair on the sides lined up perfectly. This guy was the physical embodiment of a creepy uncle.
"And what can I do for you?"
He picked up the little girl, Sarah, and put her on the ground before taking a whiff of her hair. It was such a strong inhale that you'd have thought there was cocaine in the little girl's hair. Tyler looked away, trying not to cringe. Can I get a room for tonight?" Joe slid a key with a number 14 on it across the desk.
"Cash or credit?"
Tyler, not saying one more word to this weird guy, swiped his card through the card reader and darted out of the room as quickly as his legs would carry him.
"Have a good night."
All good, Boo?
All good. They got into the room and it was exactly what you'd expect. It was comfortable enough for one night, though. But Tyler didn't sleep a wink. He couldn't stop thinking about that creepy old man with that sweet little girl. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of laying there all night, Tyler finally began drifting off.
Wake up, sleepyhead!
Ugh.
Later.
No, mister, we need to go check out before we get charged for 2 days. It's almost noon already.
Wow, is it really?
Yeah, besides, we gotta make some distance. We'll only get a few hours on the road, but I don't want to stay here any longer than I have to. It feels creepy.
Tell me about it. You should have seen that person working the front desk last night. Alright, I'm up. Let's get going.
We need to experience some small town living. You know, like the rural lifestyle or whatever. I think most of these tourist places are secret havens for creeps.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're right. In hopes of finding the perfect small town experience, Tyler and Emily drove for nearly 3 days straight, alternating who was driving and occasionally pulling over to get something to eat or drink. By this point, they were somewhere in Arkansas. Where exactly, neither Tyler nor Emily really knew.
Babe, we've been driving forever now. I don't think we're going to find the perfect little town we're looking for. Let's just find a place and stay there for a few days.
Babe, you know every single one of these towns we've passed through were weird and just not the right fit. I know we just need a few more hours and we'll find the perfect place.
Okay, just a few more hours then.
Surprisingly enough, they found a town that was exactly what they were looking for not 20 minutes later. It had everything from the log cabins to the rusted mailboxes to the wheat fields and plenty of farm animals. A rural paradise. Tyler drove around looking for the town center while Emily looked out the window in amazement. Let's get us a small town meal.
Let's.
Tyler parked in front of a place called Tina's Diner. It looked like a nice place to eat. The building didn't look too run down either, save for the open sign in the window that only lit the letters O and E. A bell attached to the door rang as they walked in. The entire place smelled like fried chicken, not the kind you find at KFC, but that southern kind that just had some kind of special ingredient to it. Waiting to be seated, Tyler took a look around. He noticed people in one corner of the store were eating McDonald's. He wondered why anyone would go through the trouble of buying fast food and then have the nerve to bring it into another restaurant. "If y'all just come with me, sweeties," a waitress with a thick southern accent said. Tyler took a seat at a booth in the corner of the restaurant, and Emily sat across from him. "We're only offering fried chicken tonight. Is that alright with y'all?" Emily gave Tyler an amused look. "Yes." "Alrighty, can I get y'all some drinks?"
Water for me, please.
"Same." "Alright, it'll be just a minute." Within 15 minutes, Tyler and Emily were enjoying some of the best fried chicken they'd ever eaten in their lives. Between the fried chicken and the old country music in the background, it was enough to make even the most stuck-up city dweller from the Big Apple believe, for a moment, that even they were Southerners deep down. The couple's attention was quickly caught by an older man in overalls who came over and introduced himself.
"Howdy, y'all don't look like you from here."
No, sir. We just graduated high school and we're driving around the country. We wanted to see how life is in different places before we go to college.
"Very nice. Y'all must be some smart kids."
Tyler and Emily both shot the old-timer a thankful grin.
"I'll tell y'all what. You want to see what life is like on the farm? I could sure use the help. My kids don't live with me no more, so I've been doing all the works by myself."
Emily's eyes lit up as she looked at Tyler, who was a little less enthused by the prospect. Before they were able to say anything, the older man continued.
"I'll give y'all a few minutes to decide amongst yourselves. I'll be sitting over yonder if you want to take me up on me offer."
The old man got up and slowly made his way to a rocking chair in the corner of the restaurant. "I don't know, Emily. This guy could be crazy for all we know."
Come on. It will only be for like a day or two. This is the ultimate small town experience. Then we can get back on the road and see the rest of the country.
Alright. After they'd finished eating, Emily walked over to speak to the old man even more while Tyler went to pay for the meal.
I think we're going to take you up on your offer. My name's Emily, by the way. What's yours?
"Y'all can call me Mr. Eden."
All right, Mr. Eden. What kind of work do you need help with?
"Nothing too hard, just a few chores like milking the cows and cleaning the chicken coop."
Hey, we're all good to go.
"Y'all want to get out of here?"
Yeah, sure. You want us to follow you home?
No, that's alright. Just grab what you need from your car for 2 or 3 days and I'll give ye a lift over. I only live a few minutes away."
Tyler and Emily grabbed their clothing bags and walked over to their new friend. The old man led them to an old red
Good night, Mr. Eden.
After getting ready for bed, Tyler walked over to Emily. "Listen, babe, I have a really weird feeling about this guy. Maybe we should just walk back to town tonight when he goes to sleep."
Are you crazy? We're in the middle of nowhere. It's going to be fine, Tyler.
Alright, good night. The next morning, the young couple were awakened by a rooster. They got dressed and went downstairs to find that Mr. Eden had cooked breakfast. They thanked him for the meal and enjoyed some organic eggs, fresh milk, and partially burnt toast. They finished eating and helped the kind stranger clean up.
"Y'all ready to get to work?"
Sure.
The three of them walked outside. Mr. Eden looked over at Emily.
I want you to go around and feed all the animals. I have cows, chickens, pigs, horses, and ducks. Make sure everything has something to eat. I keep all the animal food over there.
Okay.
The old man led Tyler over to the chicken coop and showed him how to clean it. It became clear pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be a fun day for him. After that, the old man went off. Tyler briefly wondered if he was going to do something else on the farm. Tyler genuinely started to dislike this man. There was something about him that just seemed off. He seemed to be a very hospitable and gentle man, but Tyler couldn't help but think there was something more to Mr. Eden than he was led to believe. Well, despite Tyler's sneaking suspicions, the entire day went by without incident. The old man was nothing but kind and polite, even if he gave off some kind of dark vibe that only Tyler felt. Toward the end of the day, Mr. Eden seemed to have disappeared. Tyler and Emily, having completed everything they could do, searched for their soft-spoken host in hopes of being able to relax the rest of the day. But the man was nowhere to be seen. They made their way into the house to see if he'd gone inside, and alas, he was in the kitchen and seemed to be cooking.
Hey there. You had us worried.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, darling. I wanted to get supper started. Y'all can go into the living room and relax if you like.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all y'all's hard work today. I'd have been out there till the moon was out before I finished. I should have everything cooked in a minute or two.
It wasn't long before they were enjoying a delicious home-cooked meal together with Mr. Eden. However, before sitting down to eat, Mr. Eden got a really strange look on his face before saying,
I'm feeling hungry.
Tyler was creeped out for a second while Emily casually laughed it off. The strange moment was quickly forgotten with the food they were now enjoying. Mashed potatoes, corn on the cob, and some of the best meat that the two youngsters had ever enjoyed in their lives. It wasn't more than 2 bites before Tyler had to ask what it was.
Oh, why, it's mystery meat. That's what makes it so special.
Tyler tried not to look surprised, but that made him feel more uneasy than he had at any point in the presence of the white-haired geezer that sat across from him. At that moment, Tyler had decided that they were not spending one more night with this creepy old man. After dinner, Tyler brought Emily into the other room to let her know that they'd be leaving.
Why do we have to leave? It's so nice here. Mr. Eden is so nice.
Just listen to me, okay? That guy, there's something wrong with him. What exactly, I have no idea, but I know he isn't right.
All right. If you feel that strongly about this, we'll leave, but we're gonna need a ride from him to get back to our car. It's still all the way in town, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Don't worry, I'll go ask him right now. Hey, thanks again for dinner. It was great, but we're gonna get going. We still have a lot of places to see before our little vacation is over.
As Emily spoke, Mr. Eden's face turned to a frown.
Alrighty, I can give y'all a ride in a few minutes. Just gotta clean up before we go.
Awesome. Anything we can help clean up with?
No, that's alright.
There was an awkward pause before Emily went back to Tyler. What he said.
He's giving us a ride after he finishes cleaning up. I think we hurt his feelings.
Well, let's get packed up then. Not 5 minutes had passed before everything was good to go. The kitchen was even spotless too. Mr. Eden sure could move for a geezer. The ride back to their vehicle was quiet. There was a definite tension in the vehicle. Something was most certainly off. Tyler, getting more and more anxious by the moment, felt that this old man was going to try something. Maybe crash into a tree and kill them all, or drive them further out into the middle of nowhere where he could do God only knows what. It came as a shock to Tyler, but they arrived back at their SUV. Just like it was supposed to happen. He dropped them off right there. Everyone said their thanks and goodbyes, and he drove off. It wasn't until they got back into their car that Tyler felt a bit guilty for having been so irrational. The old man probably was just a tad lonely and really needed some company. I'm sorry, Emily. I know I overreacted back there.
You did, and boy, do you have a lot you're gonna have to do to make it up to me.
And just like that, all seemed to be back to peace in the world. Tyler's eyes focused on a vehicle in the distance heading in the opposite direction. It was getting dark, and it seemed suspicious that anyone was on the road this late in a little town like this. As the vehicle got closer, it became more and more evident that it was an old, red truck. The same one they'd just seen drive off not 15 minutes ago. It got closer and closer, and then for some odd reason, it went right over the double yellow and drove directly into them. Tyler could barely see anything. Glass had made its way into his left eye, and he could only see through his right. He looked over to see if Emily was okay. She wasn't moving. Fear gripped every fiber of Tyler's being as the old man got out of his truck and began walking toward the passenger side of his car. The old man bent over a bit so his face could be seen through the heavily damaged vehicle. He looked right inside and waited a second before saying,
I'm feeling hungry.
I want to thank the patrons who support my work. If you want your name in every future video, check out patreon.com/EricAlden. Link is in the description.